Welcome. My name is Naia. I'm the lead singer and bass player in pop-reggae band SayReal, and today I'm going to be talking about how to love a woman. So what I'm going to do is take you through a day with Lee and I. Lee is my boyfriend of more than 11 years now. We play in a band together, we live together, we work together, we've negotiated family dynamics and dramas and challenges together. The crazy thing is that over the last 11 years, not only have we stayed in love, but we've deepened our love. So I'm gonna be sharing with you some of the things he does to make me feel the most loved. I'm hoping that it could be helpful to the guys watching this video, if only to inspire you to get your own ideas moving about how to love the woman in your life. Trust those ideas and act on them. I'm sure the woman in your life will appreciate it. And P.S., if you watch this video all the way through, I've got a special offer that you won't want to miss out on. There's two really powerful things I recommend doing in the morning. The first is to spend 5 to 10 minutes in bed talking about seemingly trivial things. Don't talk about work, don't talk about schedules. This is something that I'm guilty of. I tend to get excited and talk about work because I love my work and I'm passionate about it. But when I do, Lee will say something like, let's continue talking about this conversation later, and it always makes me laugh. When we do lay in bed talking, he always makes sure the conversation is focused on the sounds we hear, birds chirping, the wind, the rain falling, or if it's sunny out, we talk about the sun. You can talk about the way your bodies feel intertwined or the feel of her skin. There's so much beauty and intimacy created when you give yourself just a few moments in the morning before you get out of bed and start the day to talk about the simple things. My second piece of advice for your morning routine is to do an act of service. I'm sure your woman has some sort of morning routine. Included in that could be anything from drinking a glass of water, or making some tea, or getting coffee, or making the bed. Whatever it is that she needs in the morning, if there's something that you can do for her, even just one thing every day, that will go a long way. With Lee and I, he always gets out of bed and puts on the hot water for coffee. That simple act of service makes me feel so loved and so supported and helps me start my day off right. So for the afternoon, what I suggest would be to check in. The afternoon is a time for a lot of us to get our work done, but it's also a time when we experience a lull in energy, and as a result, we can feel really easily overwhelmed or stressed out. So for Lee and I, one of the things he does to support me in staying inspired and energized is, because we work together, he'll often check in with me about what we need to get done, our goals for the day, and anything he can do to support the facilitation of bringing about those goals. If you don't work together, a simple text, quick phone call to check in, let her know you love her, that you think of her, and you're offering words of encouragement can go a long way. There's 3 pieces of advice that I have for your evening. The first is to have an openness to share the evening responsibilities. So for example, if she's cooking dinner that night, maybe offer to clean. Or maybe she feels really supported when you're participating in all aspects of the job, where you plan what you're gonna eat together and you cook and clean up together. There's so many different ways to make the cooking, cleaning, grocery shopping feel like an opportunity for connection and for support and to feel like you're a team. Talk to your woman about it. See what she likes. See what works for her and what works best for your relationship. Now, a really simple way to create a feeling of romance, hors d'oeuvres. I'm telling you, you will be amazed at what some wine and cheese and crackers, or even just a plate of veggies with some hummus will do while you're cooking together. It just creates this feeling of intimacy and romance and gives you a chance to talk to one another and to see how your day went, and it just can be a lot of fun. The final piece of advice I have for today is to take a walk after dinner. It's another really wonderful opportunity to connect, to envision what you want your day to look like tomorrow, or maybe even to plan a romantic date night. Plus, a bonus, it's really healthy. It helps your digestion, it helps you go to bed not feeling so full, and prepares you for a really beautiful rest. Now I have some general advice that I think will serve you well, and this is part 1 of a 2-part video series, so part 2 of this video will come out in a few days. Lee John will share his words of wisdom for how to love a woman, and as his woman of 11 years, I can tell you he knows what he's talking about. I didn't feel like I could end this video without sharing these couple things. The first is to enter conflict from a place of respect and a willingness to just be with what is difficult. The aim is not to be the one who's right. The aim is understanding. For you to understand where she's coming from and for her to understand where you're coming from. When you feel like you're not being heard, it doesn't mean you need to raise your voice. It just means you need to adjust your language. Or at the very least, take a few moments for the heightened emotions to calm down a bit so that she's in a place where she can actually hear you. Remember that the only way growth happens is through difficulty, through hardship, through the challenges. I can promise you that the deep love that Lee and I have for one another did not come because everything has been good between us all the time. That depth of faith that we have in one another came from the times when everything was hard, when the world felt like it was falling apart, and together, we put back the pieces. And finally, take a moment every day just to look at her and really see her. Notice something, anything. The smile on her face, the wave of her hair, that look of determination that she gets when she's working really hard on something. Notice something that you really love. If she asks you, what are you looking at? Sure, you can share what you notice, but you can also just say, If she asks, what are you looking at? Of course, feel free to share what you noticed, but you can also keep it silently to yourself and simply say something like, I'm just looking at you, or I'm just loving you. Let her see you seeing her with loving eyes. I can tell you that as a woman, it's not so easy to have the vulnerability to let somebody love us. Our insecurities, the pressures of the outside world, and our constant focus on work and our careers can sometimes get the better of us. It takes courage to be loved. We have to feel safe. Sometimes all it takes to create that feeling of safety is a look. And if you make an effort to give her that look with intention every single day, you will be feeding that feeling. She will feel loved and will love you more for it. There's so much more that we can share on this topic, you guys. So as I mentioned, Lee John will be sharing his point of view in just a few days. But in the meantime, if you have any questions or there's a particular moment in this video that resonated with you, share them in the comments below. Also, what do you do to make your woman feel loved? And for the ladies, what does your man do to make you feel loved? Let's share stories, swap ideas, and help bring more love to the world. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and come back next Monday with another how-to from SayReal. And don't forget to click on the link in the description. I've got 3 free songs that will be perfect for date night.